The church parking lot was full of cars I recognized. Aunt Martha's silver Mercedes. Uncle Tom's ridiculous lifted truck. My siblings' vehicles lined up like a memorial to all the family gatherings I'd been slowly pushed out of over the years. I sat in my beat-up Honda Civic, watching family members file into St. Augustine's, all dressed in black, all there to say goodbye to Grandpa Joe. Everyone except me, apparently. "This is family only," my brother Michael had said, his hand flat against my chest, physically blocking me from entering the church. "Real family, Lily." My sister Sarah had stood beside him, not meeting my eyes. "It's what everyone wants. Don't make a scene." "I'm his granddaughter," I'd whispered, my voice breaking. "He raised me just like you." "You're adopted," Michael said, as if I could have forgotten. As if the word hadn't been used as a weapon against me for the past 25 years. "There's a difference." So I'd retreated to my car, mascara running, watching through the windshield as my cousins, who hadn't visited Grandpa once in the nursing home, walked right in. As aunts and uncles who'd forgotten his birthday for years were welcomed with open arms. As everyone who shared DNA was considered more family than the girl he'd taught to fish, to play poker, to change a tire. The girl he'd called Lily Pad, and kept a photo of in his wallet until the day he died. I was typing out a text to my best friend, trying to explain why I was sitting in a church parking lot crying instead of saying goodbye to the man who'd loved me unconditionally, when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. "Miss Lily Chin?" The voice was crisp, professional. "Yes. This is Robert Fitzgerald from Fitzgerald and Associates. I'm your grandfather Joseph Chen's attorney. I need you at St. Augustine's immediately." I'm already here. In the parking lot. But my family said. "Miss Chen, I don't care what your family said. According to your grandfather's explicit instructions, the will cannot be read without you present. You are, in fact, the primary beneficiary." The world tilted. "What?" Furthermore, he left specific instructions that if anyone attempted to exclude you from his funeral, they would forfeit their inheritance entirely. "So I suggest you come inside. Now." I stumbled out of my car, legs shaking. Mr. Fitzgerald met me at the church entrance, a silver-haired man with kind eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor. They told me I couldn't. They were wrong. He offered his arm. "Shall we?" The church went silent as I walked in. Every head turned. Michael's face went from smug to shocked. Sarah clutched her husband's arm. Aunt Martha's mouth fell open. I walked up the aisle on Mr. Fitzgerald's arm, my chin high despite the tears on my cheeks, and took my place in the front row. The seat that had been empty. The seat with a reserved sign that Michael had obviously removed. "Now then," Father Martinez said, looking uncomfortable. "Shall we continue?" The service was beautiful. I cried for the man who'd been more of a father to me than anyone else. Who'd officially adopted me when I was 3, after my birth parents died in a car accident. Who'd raised me alongside his biological grandchildren after my adoptive parents, his son David and daughter-in-law Marie, died in a plane crash when I was 10. The man who'd never once made me feel like I was anything less than his real granddaughter. After the service, as everyone filed into the church's reception hall, Mr. Fitzgerald stood at the front with a thick envelope. "If everyone could take a seat," he announced. "Mr. Chun requested his will be read immediately following the service." "This is highly irregular," Uncle Tom blustered. "Mr. Chin was very specific about his wishes," Mr. Fitzgerald replied coolly. "Now, before I begin, I need to verify something. Did anyone attempt to prevent Lily Chun from attending this funeral?" The room was silent. "I'll ask again. Did anyone?" "She's not real family," Michael burst out. "We thought it would be better." "Who is we?" Mr. Fitzgerald's voice was sharp. Michael looked around for support. Sarah raised her hand slowly. Then Aunt Martha. Uncle Tom. Several cousins. More than half the room. "I see." Mr. Fitzgerald made notes. "Anyone else?" A few more hands crept up. "Thank you for your honesty. It will make this much simpler." He opened the envelope and began to read. "I, Joseph Chin, being of sound mind and body, do hereby declare this to be my last will and testament. First, to those of you who attempted to exclude my granddaughter Lily from my funeral, you have revealed yourselves to be exactly who I feared you were. Lily has been my granddaughter since she was 3 years old. Not by blood, but by choice. By love. By every measurement that actually matters." Aunt Martha shifted uncomfortably. Michael's face was getting red. "She is the only one who visited me every week in the nursing home. The only one who remembered that I hate vanilla pudding but love butterscotch. The only one who smuggled in Kentucky bourbon when the nurses weren't looking. The only one who still called me just to chat, not because she wanted something. I pressed my hand to my mouth, tears flowing freely. Therefore, I leave the following. To Lily Chun, my beloved granddaughter, I leave my house on Maple Street, all its contents, my 1967 Mustang that she helped me restore, and 75% of my remaining assets, including all stocks, bonds, and savings accounts. Gasps erupted around the room. That's impossible, Michael shouted. She's not even blood. Mr. Fitzgerald continued reading as if Michael hadn't spoken. To those who showed their true colors by trying to exclude Lily from my funeral, I leave exactly $1 each. May it remind you that family isn't about blood. It's about love, loyalty, and showing up. This is contestable. Uncle Tom stood. He wasn't in his right mind. There's more, Mr. Fitzgerald said calmly. To Michael Chun, who once told Lily she would never be a real Chun at Thanksgiving dinner 5 years ago, I leave my collection of family photo albums. I hope looking through them will remind you that Lily appears in more photos than you do, because she was there. Michael sank back into his chair. To Sarah Chun Morrison, who excluded Lily from her wedding party because it would confuse people to have an Asian sister when you're white, I leave my book on family history. You might learn something. Sarah was crying now, but not the kind of tears that would earn sympathy. To Martha Chun Williams, my daughter, who told me just last year that I should leave everything to real family, I leave my deepest disappointment. You raised Michael and Sarah to be small-minded and cruel. That's your legacy. Aunt Martha's face was purple. How dare he? There's a video component as well, Mr. Fitzgerald interrupted, pulling out a tablet. Mr. Chun recorded this 2 months ago. Grandpa's face appeared on the screen, thinner than I remembered but eyes still sharp. He was sitting in his favorite chair at the nursing home, wearing the cardigan I'd bought him for Christmas. Hello, family, his recorded voice said. If you're watching this, it means I'm gone and some of you have shown your asses, just as I expected. A startled laugh escaped me. Lily, my sweet lily pad, I'm sorry they tried to keep you out. I knew they would. It's why I planned this whole thing with Robert. Are you sitting in the front row? You better be. I nodded through my tears. I want to tell you all a story. 25 years ago, my son David called me. He and Marie were adopting a little girl whose parents had died. He was worried I wouldn't accept her because she wasn't blood. You know what I told him? I told him that family isn't made by blood, it's made by choice. And we were choosing her. He paused, coughing slightly. When David and Marie died, I had a choice. I could have let her go into the system. She wasn't technically my granddaughter anymore, right? Just some kid my son had adopted. But I looked at this 13-year-old girl who'd lost everyone. Her birth parents, her adoptive parents, and I saw family. I saw someone who needed me. And I needed her too. She can't even carry on the family name, someone whispered. Grandpa's video continued as if he'd heard. Some of you are probably thinking she can't carry on the Chun name. You're wrong. She's the only one who truly carries it. Because the Chun name isn't about genetics, it's about honor, loyalty, and love. Lily has all three. The rest of you just have DNA. He leaned forward, looking directly into the camera. Lily, you were the brightest light in my life after we lost your parents. You made me laugh when I wanted to cry. You gave me purpose when I felt useless. You loved me when I was difficult to love. You are my granddaughter in every way that matters, and anyone who says otherwise can go to hell. Grandpa, I gasped, laughing through my tears. He never swore. I probably shouldn't have said that in a church, Video Grandpa continued with a grin. But I'm old and dead, so what are they going to do? He grew serious again. To those of you who tried to exclude her, shame on you. I spent years watching you barely tolerate her presence, whispering about the adopted one, when you thought I couldn't hear. I watched you exclude her from cousin photos, from family group chats, from traditions. I kept hoping you'd grow up, grow hearts. But you didn't. Several people were trying to leave quietly. Mr. Fitzgerald blocked the door. The video isn't finished. So I'm giving almost everything to the one person who deserves it. Lily, the house is yours. All those memories we made there, all the love in those walls, it's yours. The Mustang we rebuilt together, the one Michael said was a waste of time? Yours. The money, mostly yours, because you're the only one who never asked for it. He smiled sadly. To the rest of you, I'm leaving just enough to ensure you can't contest this will. Robert has documentation of every cruel word, every exclusion, Every time you showed that blood was more important to you than love. Time-stamped. Recorded. All legal. My family members were looking at each other in horror. I had a private investigator, Grandpa explained cheerfully. Oh, the things he found. Michael, that includes your texts about hoping I'd die soon so you could get the house. Sarah, it includes that Facebook post about your crazy adopted sister ruining family photos. Martha, it includes that voicemail where you called Lily a charity case. The room was dead silent now. Any attempt to contest this will result in those documents becoming public. Think carefully about your reputations before you act. He shifted in his chair, looking tired but determined. Lily Pad, if you're listening to this, know that you were the best thing that ever happened to this family. You brought joy where there was grief, love where there was loss. You are my granddaughter, my legacy, my heart. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I love you too, Grandpa, I whispered to the screen. Now, there's one more thing. Lily, check the bottom drawer of my desk in the study. There's something there for you. Something I've been saving for the right moment. The video ended. The room exploded. This is illegal. We'll sue. She manipulated him. Mr. Fitzgerald held up his hand. Any attempt to contest this will result in immediate release of all documented evidence of your treatment of Miss Chen. This includes texts, emails, recorded conversations, and video evidence. I assure you, none of it paints you in a flattering light. You recorded us? Aunt Martha shrieked. Mr. Chen was very thorough, Mr. Fitzgerald said mildly. He wanted to protect his granddaughter from any posthumous attacks. Now, I have checks here for those who attempted to exclude Miss Chen from the funeral. $1 each. Please sign for them on your way out. I'm not taking $1. Michael spat. Then you forfeit even that, and the evidence becomes public anyway. Your choice. One by one, my family members lined up to collect their dollar checks. The humiliation was palpable. Some were crying. Others were furious. None would meet my eyes. Sarah approached me last. Lily, Don't, I said quietly. Just don't. You had 25 years to treat me like a sister. You chose not to. Grandpa saw everything. She left, clutching her dollar. Soon, only Mr. Fitzgerald and I remained in the empty church hall. Your grandfather was quite a character, he said, handing me a thick envelope. These are the keys to the house, the car, and all the financial information. He also left you this. He handed me a sealed letter. My name was written on it in Grandpa's shaky handwriting. Thank you, I whispered. He loved you very much, Miss Chen. He talked about you constantly. My Lily did this, my Lily did that. You were the light of his life. I drove to Grandpa's house, my house now, in a daze. Using my key for the first time as the owner, I walked through rooms full of memories. The kitchen where we'd baked cookies. The living room where we'd watched old movies. The garage where we'd worked on the Mustang. I went to his study and opened the bottom drawer of his desk. Inside was a small box and another envelope. The letter read, My dearest Lily Pad, if you're reading this, then my plan worked and you're sitting in our house, probably crying. Stop that. But knowing you, you won't. Inside the box is your grandmother's engagement ring. She died before you came to us, but she would have loved you. I was saving it for when you get married, but I realized something. You don't need to wait for someone else to prove your worth. You're already worthy. You're already loved. You're already family. Wear it or save it or sell it, I don't care. It's yours, just like everything else. Just like my heart has been yours since the day David first put you in my arms and said, Dad, meet your granddaughter. They say you can't choose your family. They're wrong. You were chosen, Lily. First by David and Marie, then by me. And every day, I chose you again. When the others whispered, I chose you. When they excluded you, I chose you. When they said blood mattered more than love, I chose you. And you chose me back. Every visit, every call, every I love you, Grandpa. You chose me when I was grumpy, when I was sick, when I was difficult. That's what real family does. Live well, my darling girl. Be happy. And know that somewhere, your grandpa is watching over you, probably cheating at poker with the angels and bragging about his granddaughter. All my love. Grandpa Joe. P.S. The Mustang's left turn signal is sticky. You know how to fix it. You always did know how to fix everything. I clutched the letter to my chest and sobbed. Not from sadness, but from love. Pure, overwhelming love. The ring was beautiful. A simple solitaire in an Art Deco setting. I slipped it onto my right hand, where it fit perfectly. My phone buzzed with texts. Some from family members, angry and threatening. Others from cousins who'd remained silent during the funeral, apologizing for not standing up for me. I ignored them all. Instead, I walked out to the garage and ran my hand over the Mustang's hood. Grandpa and I had spent 3 years restoring it, him teaching me about engines and life in equal measure. Family isn't about blood, lily pad, he'd said once, elbow deep in the engine. It's about showing up. It's about choosing each other again and again. Blood makes you related. Love makes you family. I understood now why he'd been so insistent about teaching me to fix things, to be independent, to stand on my own. He'd known this day would come. He'd prepared me for it. I started the Mustang, listening to the engine purr. The left turn signal was indeed sticky. I'd fix it tomorrow. Tonight, I just wanted to drive. As I pulled out of the garage, I saw a figure walking up the driveway. An elderly woman with a cane, moving slowly but determinedly. Mrs. Patterson, Grandpa's neighbor. "Lily, dear," she called out. "I heard about the funeral. I'm so sorry they tried to keep you out." Joseph would have been furious. "He was," I said, managing a smile. "He planned for it." She nodded knowingly. "He told me, said you were the only real family he had left. The only one who loved him for him, not for what he could give. He gave me everything anyway." "No, dear," she said gently. "He gave you what was already yours. Love. Family. Home. The rest is just stuff." She was right. The house, the money, the car, they were wonderful, but they weren't the real inheritance. The real inheritance was knowing that I had been chosen, loved, and valued by the one person whose opinion truly mattered. As I drove through the familiar streets, I thought about Grandpa's words. Family isn't about blood, it's about choice. He'd chosen me, and every day for 22 years, I'd chosen him back. That's what made us family. That's what made me a real chin. And no amount of DNA could ever change that. The sticky turn signal clicked away as I headed home. Tomorrow, I'd fix it. Tomorrow, I'd start sorting through Grandpa's things. Tomorrow, I'd face whatever legal challenges my blood relatives threw at me. But tonight, I was just a granddaughter missing her grandpa, driving his car, wearing his wife's ring, and knowing that I had been loved. Really, truly chosen over blood loved. And that was worth more than any inheritance.